Moon pulls oceans. Consider it. That simple statement explains one of the most powerful and reliable events on our planet. Every single day, all around the world, the vast bodies of water we call oceans are in constant motion, rising and falling in a slow, predictable rhythm. This isn't random splashing, it's a carefully choreographed dance directed by forces from outer space. We call this daily rise and fall of sea level the tides. For anyone who has ever spent a day at the beach, this phenomenon is familiar. You might build a magnificent sandcastle near the water's edge, only to return a few hours later to find it completely submerged by the incoming sea. That's the tide at work, a quiet yet immense force reshaping our coastlines minute by minute. The tides are a fundamental part of how our planet operates. They are vital for countless people and animals whose lives are intertwined with the sea. Imagine being a sailor navigating a large ship into a shallow harbor. Knowing the exact time of high tide is not just helpful, it's absolutely critical to avoid getting stuck on the seabed. Fishermen, too, have learned to read the tides like a clock, knowing that the moving water brings fish closer to shore or stirs them into feeding frenzies. The very existence of entire ecosystems, from the smallest barnacle clinging to a rock to the great whales that feed in coastal waters, depends on this daily ebb and flow. A daily performance on a planetary scale. To truly understand the tides, we need to dive a little deeper into the science of gravity. Gravity is an invisible force of attraction between any two objects with mass. The more massive an object is, the stronger its gravitational pull. Now, the Earth is much more massive than the Moon. However, the Moon is relatively close to us, only about 239,000 miles away. This proximity means the Moon's gravitational pull is strong enough to affect our planet. It pulls on the land, the air, especially the water. The water, being a fluid, is the most free to move in response to this pull, which is why we see tides so clearly in our oceans. Here's how it works. The Moon's gravity pulls on the side of the Earth facing it. The pull is strongest on the ocean closest to the Moon, causing the water to bulge upward. That bulge is what we call a high tide. If the Moon is overhead on a beach, you're in the middle of a high tide. The Moon is literally pulling the ocean toward itself. It's like a giant invisible hand lifting the sea level. But here's the tricky part. There isn't just one high tide, there are two. One bulge forms on the Moon-facing side and another forms on the exact opposite side. Why the far side bulge? Because the Moon pulls on everything, water and the solid Earth. The solid Earth is pulled toward the Moon, but the far side water is pulled the least, so it gets left behind. That creates the second bulge. With two bulges opposite each other, water between them is drawn away, creating lower water levels, low tides. So at any moment, there are two high tides and two low tides. As Earth rotates once every 24 hours, different places pass through those zones. That's why most coasts see two highs and two lows each day. It's an elegant system, powered by gravity and motion. While the Moon is the star of the tidal show, it has a very important supporting actor, the Sun. The Sun is the most massive object in our solar system, about 27 million times more massive than the Moon. Its gravitational pull on Earth is incredibly powerful. It's what keeps our planet in orbit. However, because the Sun is about 400 times farther away from us than the Moon is, its effect on our tides is only about half as strong as the Moon's. The Sun's role is to either amplify the Moon's pull or to partially cancel it out, depending on how the Sun, Earth, and Moon are aligned. This cosmic alignment creates two special kinds of tides, spring tides and neap tides. Let's start with spring tides. These have nothing to do with the season of spring. The name comes from an old word meaning to jump or spring up. Spring tides happen when the Sun, the Moon, and the Earth are all lined up in a straight row. This occurs twice a month during the new moon, when the Moon is between the Sun and Earth, and the full moon, when the Earth is between the Sun and Moon. During these alignments, the gravitational pulls of the Sun and the Moon combine, working together to pull the ocean's water in the same direction. The result of this combined gravitational force is a dramatic increase in the tidal range. The high tides are exceptionally high, and the low tides are unusually low. If you live near the coast, You can really see the difference during a spring tide. The water will creep much farther up the beach at high tide and retreat much farther out at low tide, exposing parts of the seabed that are normally hidden. These powerful tides are a perfect example of celestial teamwork, with the sun and moon joining forces to create the most extreme tidal conditions our planet experiences. About a week after a spring tide, we get the opposite effect, a neap tide. The word neap comes from an old Anglo-Saxon word meaning without power. Neap tides occur when the sun and moon are at a right angle to each other, as viewed from Earth. This happens during the first and third quarter phases of the moon. In this configuration, the gravitational pull of the sun is working against the gravitational pull of the moon. The sun is essentially pulling the water sideways compared to the moon's pull, which disrupts the formation of the tidal bulges. As a result, the high tides are not very high, and the low tides are not very low. The overall difference between high and low tide is minimal, creating a period of much calmer, less extreme tides. Section 4. Life on the Edge. How tides shape our world. The constant rising and falling of the tides has a profound impact on our world, especially along the thousands of miles of coastline where land meets sea. Think about all the boat ships that use harbors and channels. Large vessels can only enter and leave a port when the water is deep enough. Ship captains' harbor masters must plan their schedules around the high tides. A miscalculation could leave a massive container ship stranded in the mud, waiting for the ocean to rise again. For smaller boats, low tide can make launching from a ramp or mooring at a dock much more difficult. The tides dictate the rhythm of maritime commerce and recreation. Beyond human activities, tides are the master architects of entire ecosystems. The area between the high tide mark and the low tide mark is called the intertidal zone. It is one of the most challenging yet vibrant habitats on Earth. Barnacles, mussels, starfish have to be incredibly tough. Submerged in cool salt water and exposed to the hot sun and dry air, these creatures have developed amazing adaptations to survive, such as shells that seal in moisture, or the ability to cling tightly to rocks to avoid being washed away by crashing waves. Section 5. The Great Ocean Rhythm. A never-ending story. So when we put it all together, we see a magnificent story unfolding every day. The moon, our silent partner in the sky, reaches across space with its invisible hand of gravity. It pulls on our planet's vast oceans, creating a bulge of water that follows it on its journey across the sky. On the opposite side of the world, another bulge forms as the Earth itself is pulled away from the water. In between these high points, the water level drops, creating the low tides. It's a simple, elegant system, a cosmic dance of push and pull that has been happening for billions of years. The sun, though much farther away, adds its own gravitational voice to the chorus. When it aligns with the moon, their combined power creates the dramatic spring tides, with their towering highs and receding lows. When they pull at cross purposes, we experience the gentle neap tides, a time of relative calm along the coasts. This celestial alignment, changing day by day and week by week, adds another layer of complexity and wonder to the ocean's rhythm, making every tide a little bit different from the last. It's a constant reminder of our place in a solar system full of moving parts. This never-ending cycle of rising and falling water is more than just a scientific curiosity. It is the lifeblood of our coastal world. It dictates the schedules of sailors, the success of fishermen, and the survival of countless creatures in the intertidal zone. Consider that.